Hello, hello. Welcome back to the summit. This is day 2 of the Online Income Playbook Summit. I'm your host, Amanda Boggs, and I just want to start again today with a little bit of housekeeping. So, if you are new to the summit, this is not delivered in the way you might be used to. It's not a live webinar that you have to be live at a certain time, other than these lives that I do every day, just to break everything down for you. Excuse me, a little bit of a cold. Um, Instead, every day you get the daily videos, which have been pre-recorded, interviews with the experts in your inbox, and you have 24 hours to watch those before they expire. And under each video, there's a button that says get access to the freebie. Each speaker has provided a free gift. So you can click that button below the video to get access to their free gift. And that's how it's delivered. So last year, I kept having people message me and say, I keep missing these sessions. And I'm like, no, you're not missing them. You can watch them whenever you want. Now, yesterday, as is pretty par for the course with any technological thing, particularly something that's live, we had some issues with people who were seeing a message on their video that the video wasn't available. And that turned out to be a browser cache issue. And what that means is you might need to use an incognito window to view it, or you might need to clear a cache. But actually, despite it saying it was like the thumbnails, it wasn't the video itself. So despite it saying it wasn't available, it actually was. If you clicked on it, you could play the videos. And we think we've gotten that fixed now. It was only affecting some attendees and not everybody, which is why we think it was a browser cache issue on the user end. However, we think it's fixed, and we did give you extra time to watch yesterday's videos. So those are live until 1:30 today. Now, if you don't want to try to watch all these videos, because we go very in depth in these interviews and presentations, and you might not have time to spend hours in, the middle of the week to watch all these videos, you can get your lifetime access pass, and you can get that from the chat. The link is in the chat. The lifetime access pass during the summit is $47. It is going to go up eventually to $97. You can grab it now for half off. You will get not only lifetime access to all the videos, all the interviews, you also get all of the audio recordings of each interview. And you can listen to them on the go. You can download them and take them with you if you're driving, or like me, I don't know about you, but I like to listen to things when I'm driving my kids around, when I'm cooking, when I'm cleaning, gardening. I like to multitask. I don't like to just have to sit down and watch a video. Exercising, like when I'm working out, I like to listen to videos. So you can download those, you get all the audios, and you get 3 bonus sessions with me, pre-recorded, and you get the action workbook to help you implement everything that you're learning. So you definitely want to grab that if you want to get the most out of this summit. Now, if you came to this broadcast through Facebook and you're not actually registered for this summit yet, you can also in the chat go ahead and click that link to register, and that will make sure that you're getting the videos that I'm talking about, because I'm not going to play them here today. You have to register for the summit to get them, and all access to all the free things. So go ahead and get that from the chat if you need to. So day 2. Today we're going to talk about visibility and positioning. And yesterday, as you may know, we talked about the foundation of your business. So you have to build a foundation that's going to suit you if you want a business that's going to work. Hey, Susie. So today, no matter how great your business is, if nobody knows about it, you're going to struggle. So today we're talking about visibility and positioning. If you can have the most amazing offer, you can be the smartest person, that's the best coach ever. You can have the best product ever, but if nobody can see it, no one's going to be able to buy it. So you have to find ways to make yourself visible. And I want to ask you, you can put in the chat, where do you currently show up most for your business? Are you showing up on Instagram or Pinterest or Facebook or YouTube? You can put in the comments where are you showing up and trying to get people to notice your business? You know, yesterday I was talking to someone who had an Etsy store for 2 years and never made any sales. And when I asked about it, it turned out she was just posting on Etsy. She like was putting her listings in Etsy. She wasn't doing anything to bring people to her Etsy store. And sales platforms are wonderful. I totally recommend using sales platforms because they do bring buyers to their site. But you do have to do a little bit more to stand out when you think about the huge number of people that are on a sales platform and just in the internet in general. There are some things you're going to need to do so that people can see that you are there and that you're the person that they want to buy from. So when I started my business, which was in 1998, things were very different. There was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, there was no Facebook. The principle was the same. You had to have a way to get discovered. And there are so many more opportunities now, but I also feel like there are so many ways that people can get overwhelmed and not actually move the needle in getting themselves visible because there are so many platforms in so many ways. So today's speakers are going to show you some different ways that you can become visible online. So a mistake I see people making, and I myself have made, is people who are trying to be everywhere at once. People start a business and they have every social media platform and they're trying to post on every single one of them. And then they burn out because visibility works best when it's very intentional. You need to find a way to become visible that suits you and your personality, that's something you actually want to do so that you're going to do it and you're going to stay consistent with it. And you also have to consider the type of visibility you want. So say that you are somebody who loves posting on Instagram, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to understand posts on Instagram last about 24 hours, even if they're not stories. They just get overwhelmed. Like even if you post a reel and not a story, the algorithm just buries it under all the new content after about 24 hours. So if that's a platform that you want to use for visibility, you have to be willing to be on that platform basically all the time. And if that suits your personality, that's great. If it doesn't, you're going to get burnt out very, very fast. So I want you to think about today when you're watching the videos, when you're listening to me, what is the outcome you want? Do you want slower content that you're creating that lasts longer? So maybe it takes a little bit longer to attract your customers, but it stays online much longer, has a longer life that's bringing people to you. Do you want to be somebody that is constantly posting? Is that fun for you? What's your style? So today, the first person that you're going to hear from is Cecilia Morris. And what she is teaching is how to borrow other people's audiences that they've already built by getting speaking engagements. So when I say speaking engagement, that can be like this summit is, in fact, an engagement platform for other experts. They are able to come, I interview them, or they give a presentation for the summit, and they're borrowing my audience as well as all of the other experts' audiences. So it's a collaborative effort. And I get people that will say, oh, I don't want to be in the summit because I don't want to have to give a speech. And so I always am like, no, it's an interview. It's just an interview. It's not, you don't have to get up on a stage. You don't have to write a speech because a lot of people have fear around that. But what you have to understand is don't just write it off because you hear the word speaker from the beginning. You are already on several stages as an entrepreneur. Stages can be things like podcasts and summits, but stages are also social media platforms and um, blogs and things. So when you become a speaker, so you can be featured in, maybe you don't even have to speak. Maybe somebody could write about you on their blog. Like maybe you could do a collaboration that way. You know, you are getting access to thousands of people very, very quickly. And you're able to provide a lead magnet, something free that's valuable for them that will bring them into your audience. So you're basically borrowing an audience to grow your own audience. And it's not just about growing an audience, it's about building authority. So for me personally, hosting this summit has been very beneficial in building trust and authority in this new phase of my business. So for those of you who don't know, for the past 25 years, I have been an e-commerce seller. I'm a top Etsy seller. I'm a top eBay seller. I have several other stores and various online platforms. And my main niche is selling dolls and doll supplies and teaching people how to repair dolls. But over the years, as I've coached people in doll repair, a lot of my students wanted to start their own businesses after they learned the doll repair skills. So I helped several people with that, and they were successful. And then as I became known as a top um, e-commerce seller on Etsy, particularly, people wanted to know how I did that. And so I've transitioned to also teaching how to start and grow your business and market your business. And I was having a lot of trouble before I founded this summit because in this new space, I have a lot of authority in the doll repair space. I'm very well known. But in this new space, in this business coaching space, I don't have as much authority. I don't have as many testimonials and things. I have more than 4,000 positive reviews across my shops. And I didn't have so many for this. So this is a great way if you are just starting out or you're transitioning into a new niche. Being a speaker for someone is a wonderful way to build your authority and make people see you as somebody who's important in that space and someone they should listen to. And it works, not just if you're a host, but if you're a speaker, because I want you to think about, let's say you have somebody come to your house and they ring the doorbell and they're selling like windows. And maybe you need new windows, but do you want to buy them from this random person that showed up at your door? Or let's say your friend got her windows replaced and she loves them and they're wonderful. I'm kind of saying this because we need to replace our windows really bad in my house. And they're starting to like rot, like they're vinyl. And when you try to take them in and out, like you try to take the screens in and out, little pieces of plastic just come off, they're dry rotted. So anyway, I've got windows on my mind at the moment, but let's say your friend got her windows redone and she loves this company and the installer was fantastic and they did everything really fast and they didn't go over budget. Well, obviously, you're going to go with that person that your friend recommended, right? And being a speaker on a stage is the same thing. Whether the stage is a blog or a summit or a podcast or maybe a collaborative like social media thing where you share each other's profiles or posts on social media, it's an introduction. So it just gives you more authority. It makes you stand out better. So you definitely want to watch Cecilia's presentation on that or her interview on that. And also, she has started her own site to help you find speaking gigs and even get paid for speaking. So that's her free gift. You definitely want to get that. It's called the Speaker Identity Guide to help you build out your identity if you want to grow that way and flesh out your media kit. Now, next, we have Brendan Kane, although actually I think maybe his video is maybe last on your page, but you can watch them in whatever order you want. I'm going to talk about Brendan Kane right now because he is famous for getting 1 million followers on social media in like 30 days. He's really, really good at uh, going viral as an account. And he has studied it so much, and it is not really just about luck, which most people think it's about luck. He understands how to make content that actually spreads. And a whole lot of what he says is the exact opposite of what you hear. And I love that he agreed to do the interview with me because he is not talking about, like you hear all the time when you have to niche down, you have to talk to one person only, you have to have this very narrow little niche that is the only thing that you talk about. And he says, no, that's not right. You need to be a generalist. If you really want to go viral, if you really want to grow your audience, you have to be able to produce content that appeals to people across the spectrum, not just one kind of person. And then he talks about the frameworks for producing content. And I really love that because the frameworks he uses are the same frameworks. I have a degree in creative writing. And I will tell you, the same frameworks that he teaches for social media are the frameworks you learn as a writer to get people interested in a story. And so he is going at it from a really academic perspective. It's a classic perspective. It's not trends. It's not, oh, what's the algorithm doing this week? It's the things that have worked forever, since we started communicating through writing. What are the frameworks of the story? Is it a fish out of water story? Is it a man about town story? And you can choose a framework and maybe specialize in a framework rather than just a niche or just one person, and keep producing your content in this framework that appeals to lots of people. And the reason I really love that is it is not just applicable to one platform. I see so many people online who their whole thing is, this is what's working on Instagram. And it's funny to me because it'll be like, you have to post, like right now, trial reels are blowing up. You have to post trial reels. I'm posting 20 trial reels every single day. And then 2 days later, the algorithm has changed and they're like, oh, now it's carousels. Now you have to produce all these carousels. I'm doing 10 carousels and this is what I'm doing. And then a couple days after that, they're back to reels because now reels are working. And I don't know about you, but I personally do not want to have to spend all of my days trying to figure out this crazy algorithm that changes like constantly. So all of this content that you just spent all this time on, now it's not, now it's being suppressed because they're doing this other thing. That's what I love about Brendan's talk is he teaches you the classic frameworks that work across any social media platform, that work across any kind of content to help you go viral and get a lot of customers. And this is before social media even started, I started my blog, and I, as a trained writer, use these frameworks. And my blog at this point, last month, my blog got 72,000 views. It's so not as big maybe as some bloggers, but it is by far the biggest source of audience for me, for my business. It's my biggest source of visibility because when you are using things that have worked forever and you're not just chasing algorithms, you're able to bring more people in. Now, besides Cecilia and Brendan, we have Mariah Riona, and I loved this interview. It was so, so good. Her interview is about how to build a luxury brand. So not just visibility, but how you're positioning yourself. And, she talks about perception of your brand and perception of your offer, and how sometimes just a small shift can change how people see your business and can actually really grow your business because you're able to charge more money. I loved her interview for its she's just so smart about it. She works 3 days a week now and is able to, I can't remember the exact, she runs a 6 or 7 figure business in 3 days a week. It's just amazing. And she is giving away a free course to help you do that. And I forgot to say, Brendan is giving away his Guide to Going Viral ebook. So you definitely want to pick that up. You definitely want to get Mariah's free course. It's a 4 or 5 day course that you can take. It's sent to you via email. It's a video course. I've taken it. It's fantastic. It is so in depth. I can't believe that she is giving it away for free. It basically teaches you how to structure your brand or transition your brand if you already have a brand and maybe you're not making the money that you want to make, maybe you're not charging what you want to be able to charge, how to position yourself as a luxury brand so that you are able to get those higher ticket clients to come in, the higher people who are willing to pay more, people who are willing to um, not just pay more, but transform more, because that's something she talks about. And it is very important. Why high ticket is better, not just for you, but for your clients. Because when you have a high ticket container, usually it's because it provides a much greater transformation. So if you think about it, if you take a little, I have a little 5 day course myself, and it's $100. And it's a great course. Like, don't get me wrong, it has so much in it for the price and the amount of money, but it doesn't have any personal one-on-one contact with me. And so you're dependent, it's dependent on you. Your success is dependent on you. And once you learn these tactics, what you're putting in, there's like no way to really ask questions. If you came to my higher ticket programs, like say my 1 day intensive, where you actually come to my house and we work all day on whatever thing that you need to do, we get your whole thing set up in a day and you're working with me. And then you get follow-up coaching as well as a 90-day plan to help you map out exactly what you're going to do next after you leave. That's a much higher transformation. Obviously, it's much more expensive. That's a $10,000 product or offer, but it is also an offer where you're getting the absolute highest level of my attention, for that day. And you're not doing everything on your own. So you think about the level of transformation that you make. You leave with whatever you are needing. If you need to get your business set up, if you need to get your content ecosystem set up, that is done when you leave. So there isn't any watching videos for a long time, filling out worksheets, etc. You're done when you leave. So it's a much bigger transformation. Then after Mariah's interview, we talked to Michelle Lewis, and this was just fascinating. So what Michelle talks about is using color psychology to grow your brand. And I thought this was just like, I had never even thought about stuff like this before. Most people choose colors in a brand because they like those colors. They think it's all just about design. And Michelle talks about actually, you want your colors to convey the experience your client is going to get before they even know who you are. And she talks about how quickly, I can't remember, it's in the interview, but I can't remember the exact amount of time, but it's like 0.92 seconds or something that someone perceives color. Like, they perceive color before they perceive anything else about you and about your brand. And when you're choosing the right colors for your brand, you're actually able to communicate with your ideal clients as to what experience they're going to get with you, like in the blink of an eye before they even have looked at you. And when you're using the right colors for your brand, you're able to attract the right people basically instantly. So you're not just being visible, but you're being visible to the right people. And so that made me like, now I'm going to have to, after that interview, and she has a color quiz. So I've like completely changed my brand kit colors. I went and like totally redid my funnel and all the colors and everything because I was like, oh, I'm not portraying, exactly what I want to portray. I really want to, um, this is really more what I want to do. And I took her quiz and everything in my brand was like pink and gold and, um, mostly just pink and gold, some browns. And after I took the quiz, now everything is blue, blue and gold and some greens because what I wanted to do is better served by using those colors. And I will tell you, when I changed my funnel, I was having trouble getting people to opt in. My conversion rate for opt-ins was only at like 20%. And after I changed the colors, it went up to between like 39 to 50%. So it was really enlightening to see how that color change did help with my audience growth for this summit. And I will also say that my audience for this summit has been much more engaged than past things that I've done, past master classes, past challenges and summits and things. I'm getting a lot more engagement. So I think that the color change really did help draw in people who actually want to work with me and want to do the things that I need. So that is just, it's a fascinating interview. You absolutely want to take the quiz so that you understand what colors are going to work best for you and for your audience. And, you know, after you watch today's questions or today's interviews, I just want you to ask yourself the question again, where do I naturally stand out? Where am I already enjoying posting? Where am I already enjoying showing up? What do I enjoy doing? Because that's where your visibility is going to naturally um, occur best. It's where you're going to have the best chance of attracting the right audience for you. So make sure you watch the interviews and let me know in the chat before I go if you have any questions or um, you want to comment on anything. I would love to hear from you. And if not, then I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about monetization and money moves, which is what we're here for, right? You want to know how to turn all of this into money. That's the ultimate goal of an online business. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Make sure you um, get your videos out of your email, and I will see you here live again tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day. Bye.